D2 Word Life here with Rhea Ripley's finisher, Riptides.
Really, welcome to the podcast, YouTubians.
And welcome to our first classic pay-per-view review, because we're not going to be reviewing anything from 2024. Why did I say 2014? We'll get to those eventually. This is actually from 20 years ago. No Way Out, 2004.
Yep.
A show of our childhood. So,
Beat a la raza.
So this show took place in San Francisco at the Cow Palace on February 15, 2004.
Uh-huh.
And now let's talk about how this pay-per-view started with your favorite segment, apparently, of the show.
Tori and Sable.
They only came out to welcome the crowd to No Way Out to start the show.
Yes.
And then afterwards we had our opening package to the show, hyping the main event.
Yeah.
And 2004 was a different time period. And if you don't like intergender wrestling, the first two matches are not for you.
Yeah.
Because the first match we had the Basham Brothers and Shaniqua taking on Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty for the tag team titles in a handicap match. Now, from what you remember, what's your thoughts about this one? Before we talk about the finish.
Well, that one was actually really good because Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty got to have their revenge on the Bashams and Shaniqua.
Yeah. But let's talk
because all she would do was target the friggin' surgically repaired neck of Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and I think one of the Bashams of the match actually tried to do a headbutt to Rikishi. That didn't freaking work.
Yeah, Danny?
Yeah, which I found.
Yeah, Danny tried to headbutt Rikishi, and all it did was hurt him. He's like...
Which I kind of found funny.
Rikishi's like, what the...
Seriously? Samoans have hard heads, apparently.
Yes!
And then we had an attempted stink face on Shaniqua that didn't work. That got countered.
Yeah.
Of course, another one that freaking made me laugh was when Scotty attempted to do the worm, only to get clotheslined by Shaniqua from the apron. I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I found that funny, too.
Well, Shaniqua got bonsai dropped.
It's like, yep. But in the end, Shaniqua was the legal person in the match. Same with Rikishi. Rikishi ended her with a Samoan drop followed by the bonsai drop to retain the titles.
Yep.
I think this was Shaniqua's last appearance in WWE too, considering I heard she had backstage heat at this time.
No, she was still wrestling at that time.
Well, that's just what the rumors heard. If I remember correctly, she didn't make too many appearances on TV afterwards. From what I remember.
Well, I think that was like later on in the years.
Yep.
But she was still wrestling at the time of after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then, like I said, intergender wrestling ain't for everyone, but, it was alright for what it was, it was a different time period. We gotta put ourselves back in that time period, right?
It was interesting still to see that match again.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's stuff we probably would never see in the modern day.
Yeah.
Speaking of intergender wrestling, this one we go to the comedy match of the night. The show, I should say, when it was Nydia versus
Jamie Noble and Nydia.
In a boyfriend versus girlfriend blindfold match where Noble was blindfolded.
Yep.
This all stemming from, in storyline, Nydia getting blinded by Tajiri's black mist, if you remember that segment.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Noble being a dick the whole time.
Yeah, just fucking throwing Nydia into the fucking ring every damn time to
win,
interfere with the damn match.
Yep. Until the angle paid off where she revealed she could see and pretty much turn on Noble here.
Yeah, I still don't like Jamie Noble all that much because he was a dick during the entire thing.
And then he even freaking shredded that mint fur coat that freaking she had too. At that point,
$4,000 mink coat.
yeah, she shredded that in the wood chipper. And they're built up to this.
Yep.
So yeah, Noble was blindfolded. Now let's talk about this comedy match. Well, first we see Noble get bitch slapped.
Yep.
Then we seen him get tripped up, walking backwards.
Yep.
And then we see Noble get his ass literally kicked. No, literally
Yep.
kicked. Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
And then he got pantsed.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you found funny.
Yes, I did find it funny. He was still wrestling with his fucking pants unbuttoned.
Yep. Until he was on the outside and realized, oh shit, my pants. Right?
And I think Michael Cole really enjoyed that.
And overall, freaking Nitty was just fucking with Noble at that point when he was down and she was just staring at him, just taunting him.
Yeah, and then he cheated by lifting up the fucking blindfold.
But before we get to that, freaking, there was one point near the end where freaking Noble had a handful of hair and it actually ripped out of her head.
Yeah, that was fucking wrong.
I'm like, that was painful as shit, right?
Yeah, getting your hair pulled out of the top of your goddamn skull by the fucking fibers.
Yes, anyone with long hair could probably tell you how painful that is.
Yes.
Trust me, I've been there, I've done that.
Been there, done that.
But then in the end, freaking Noble cheats by taking the freaking hood off, then he puts Nitty in the dragon sleeper and then wins by submission.
Yeah, but first thing is he was being a little bitch when they were putting on the freaking blindfold.
So, like, I can't see. I don't want to fucking wrestle blindfolded. That's part of the freaking stipulation. All right?
Yep.
Oh no, like I said though, that wasn't really a competitive match. That was more like the comedy match, but you know, intergender wrestling again, I'm not a big fan of these days. Unless we're talking about an old China match, which we will at some point.
Yeah.
But, you know, this right here, that doesn't got it for me, but hey, it had some great comedy spots before the ending. I give it that.
Well, we had two trailer park trash that were going at each other in a fucking hilarious match where one was blindfolded to be treated like how Nydia was when she was blinded.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure it was well received somewhat at the time. Looking at it with 2024 eyes, not so much.
Yeah.
But I gotta remember, I gotta put myself back into 2004. It was different. Right?
It was the ruthless aggression era.
Yep. Then after that match, we seen footage of Kurt Angle getting attacked on SmackDown, plus Kurt Angle and John Cena getting into a little brawl backstage, hyping up their triple threat later in the show.
It was Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean Angle.
Yep.
If you guys find that funny, that was in the video that we did for his retro game.
Yeah, the Here Comes the Pain game, which on my gaming channel, I know I need to upload the next installment. I haven't done that yet, and it's been months.
Yep.
But next we have the world's greatest tag team, otherwise known as Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, taking on Ron Simmons and JBL. Before they were known as that, when they were in a tag match, right?
Yep.
And keep note, Bradshaw's or JBL's arm was all bandaged up during this freaking match, too, selling a arm injury. Right?
Yep.
It's alright for what it was. It's like Shelton got near fall. Shelton got near fall on Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons got freaking, or Farouk got worked over with the arm and shit, everything.
Yeah, I still think that the APA should have won that match.
Then we've seen a massive spine buster to Haas later on in the match from Ron Simmons himself, or Farouk himself, right?
Yep.
Then we got the hot tag to Bradshaw. That last call from the top rope, I believe, on a Shelton Benjamin, was excellent stuff to see.
Yeah.
Then we got the clothesline from Hell in Hospital because of him selling the arm. Bradshaw got super kicked in the face, and the World's Greatest Tag Team won the tag match.
Yeah, I still think that the APA should have won.
It's been over 20 years, but that was still a great match. Can't really debate the result now.
Yeah, it's Ron Simmons and JBL.
So yeah, it was an alright tag team match. It served what it was, but you could see the same. It felt like a match you could see on SmackDown. This was a SmackDown pay per view, by the way. Back when
Yes,
they
I
had
know.
branded pay per views.
Well, they only had back in the day freaking single pay per views, one for Raw and one for SmackDown, one for Raw, one for SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, Smack.
And
Then
the
it was
day
Bragging
before.
Rights, which was before both brands.
Yeah, and the only time back then that you've seen them both on the same show was for the 4 friggin' major pay per views.
Yeah, Bragging Rights.
Yep. And I'm talking about back then you saw both brands on, pay per views on the Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series.
Yep.
Back then. Then afterwards, Goldberg arrived in the crowd, sitting there.
Yeah.
And then Paul Heyman just came out and just screams at Goldberg to stay in her seat, that he would be arrested, only for Brock Lesnar to come out and just taunt the living hell out of him.
No, you have to say that he freaking instigated because he's all like, excuse me, you need to stay in your seat.
Yep. Either way, Lesnar came out to a standing boo-vation. Pretty much was taunting Goldberg, calling him a little bitch and everything else, saying that, yeah, don't do anything that Austin wouldn't do and everything else, which resulted in Goldberg going into the ring. A brawl ensues. Goldberg freaking reverses the F5 into a jackhammer, and it ends with Goldberg getting, quote, arrested.
Yeah.
Segment, right?
Yeah.
And just remember this because I'll come into the main event later.
Yeah.
But then when Lesnar was still down hurt, Hardcore Holly came out, tried to get him some of Lesnar, only for Lesnar to get out of the ring, which kind of sets us into our next match, which was Hardcore Holly versus Rhino.
Well, that's because Hardcore Holly was getting beat up by freaking Lesnar at that point before.
Yep. There wasn't any ring index, and they just started brawling on the entrance ramp and everything else. A bunch of chops to Rhino himself. Rhino was in control for most of this match with submission holds, though.
Yeah.
And then Holly tried to make a comeback with clotheslines. They were trading blows back and forth. It all ended with spinebuster with Rhino hitting a spinebuster and a gore connects to Holly, but Holly rolled on the outside of the ring. Smart play. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, when they got back in the ring, freaking Holly hit the Alabama Slam, and Holly won by pinfall.
Yeah.
This was an alright match. It wasn't the best match on the card, but it was alright. It served its job. It was just one of those, felt like a filler type match. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, but you have to admit, you have to think about it back then in the terms that they were also in a rivalry match thing.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it just felt like a filler type match. But they did it's like they did their job. They pretty much provided a brawl after the whole Goldberg Lesnar incident.
Yep.
To kind of switch everyone's tracks back onto the show.
Yep.
So the next match was for the Cruiserweight Championship. It was Chavo Guerrero taking on the champion Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
The deadbeat Rey Mysterio.
He's not a deadbeat. He sacrificed a lot for his career to feed his children and to take care of Eddie's son.
You'd have to say Eddie's son. Okay. Okay. Can't wait to see our reactions to all that when we review the 2005 SummerSlam eventually. But but anyway, before the match started, they did play the promo package for Chavo and Rey Mysterio for this match. But then right before the entrances, the Undertaker's little like promo for WrestleMania 20 came up.
Yet when he said in 28 days the dead will rise again.
And obviously, this was signifying the Undertaker coming back as a dead man to face Kane at WrestleMania 20. We'll get to that when we review that show sometime down the road.
Yep.
But yeah, the match started. It was back and forth action from both of them, followed by an arm drag from Mysterio to start off the match. Of course, then Chavo attempted to rip the mask off after all that, from what I noted down here.
Disgrace.
Yep. Then we had a bunch of like head scissors, near fall. Then Chavo went into control, including Chavo Classic, Chavo Guerrero Senior, providing a distraction after a sunset flip it into the 619, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Rey Mysterio's friend and manager at that point attacked Chavo Classic, got ejected from the ringside area for it.
Yep.
So you knew exactly where this was probably going to eventually head towards.
Yep.
Yeah, and then afterwards, there was a plunge followed by a leg drop from Mysterio. Afterwards, schoolboy pin kick out, abdominal, and then there was this inverted Boston Crab on Mysterio from Chavo. That looked painful.
Well, he had gotten freaking backbreaker, got busted off the damn top of the damn ropes.
Oh yeah, that also looked bad. That also looked bad too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I also posted Chavo Guerrero went into the ring post at one point. Then Chavo then followed up, went back in control with a DDT on the ring apron.
Yep.
To Rey. The ring apron. That's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah, because that's where the metal and the wood freaking connect.
Yeah, and then we saw a second 619 from Rey Mysterio on a Chavo, but the pin got reversed into another Boston Crab, which I found which I thought was a great spot to see. I didn't expect that. It's been a while since I last seen this match, by the way.
Yeah. 20-something years, or 20 years.
And of course, then the end came when Chavo Classic shoved Mysterio off the top turnbuckle, followed by a roll pin and a handful of tights for Chavo Guerrero to win the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yep, he cheats. Cheetah!
So yeah, what's your thoughts on this Cruiserweight title match?
Rey Mysterio should have retained. He was heated.
Well, despite the ending with the heel taking the cheap win, I think the action beforehand was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Between the two. So yeah, it was the most exciting match up to that point.
Yeah.
Of course, after the match was over, they did an interview with Chavo backstage, and all Chavo had to do was gloat that he was a champion and that pretty much he was calling Eddie a drug addict and a loser.
Yep.
Because this was during the Guerrero split.
Yep.
Something that people don't want to remember. That was said.
Well, it was also where he was fighting with his younger brother as well.
Yep. So yeah, that was a little distasteful, but I can understand from a storyline perspective at that point during that time period.
Yeah.
So the next match we had was a semi-main event match, which was Kurt Angle versus John Cena versus the U.S. Champion Big Show in a non-title triple threat match, where the winner
for number one contendership at WrestleMania.
Yeah, where the winner would go on to face whoever the champion was at WrestleMania 20.
Yep.
I think it was kind of funny at first when both Angle and Cena tried to log up with a Big Show to no success while the other one just stared and watched. and
Well, it
make
was funny as hell that fucking John Cena was goading on Angle the entire fucking time when he was getting his ass kicked.
and then afterwards, when Cena locked up and got dominated, Angle just sat there and laughed a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Before those two just went at each other.
Yep.
And then, but right when they were going at each other, the show just dominated both of them.
Yep. Oh, he is. Yeah. Fucking 500-pound fucking giant.
Yep. Yeah, and then, but then all stopped when Angle hit Big Show with a low blow.
Yeah.
And then Angle was in control of Cena for the most part afterwards, up to that point.
Yeah, and they both top blocked John Cena's freaking hurt knee.
Yes, because Cena was dealing with a legit knee injury at that time.
Yep.
And he was wearing a knee brace, obviously.
And had his knee wrapped up, too.
And then Cena tried to make a comeback on Angle, only to go to Suplex City from Angle, the original person who made it. Who coined that, right?
No, it was Brock Lesnar still that coined Suplex City.
Well, the only reason I say Suplex City is because of all the Germans that was hit on Cena, halting his momentum.
Yeah, but still, Brock Lesnar was the originator of Suplex City.
Anyway, then we seen a big ass freaking slap or chop to Cena from the Big Show. Those fucking Big Show's hands. Hearing that from Big Show is still freaking devastating.
Yeah, they're frying pan hands.
You know how big fucking Big Show's hands are? I don't think you want that slapping you in the chest.
Yeah, they're frying pan size.
Yep. And of course, Cena also got suplexed again, but this time from Big Show, only for Kurt Angle to dropkick the Big Show down from the top rope.
Yep.
And then we seen the FU on the Big Show, and then a DDT to Angle, Angle slam on Show, kick out. This match could have gone either way, really.
And then we saw the freaking Kurt Angle use the.
Yeah, and then John Cena got the ankle lock on him after the
his ankle lock, and then freaking he grapevined it at the end.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that. Then Big Show came in, chokeslam on Angle, chokeslam onto Cena. Then freaking Angle got back up and put the ankle lock on the Big Show. Which, you ever see a giant scream? That's the way this is the match to see that in. Right?
Yeah, this was kind of what it built up to the Big Show going bald when he got his haircut.
Yeah, later on in the year. And then we seen the 5-knuckle shuffle to Angle, chokeslam, but then afterwards Big Show came back in, his chokeslam got reversed into an Angle slam, which Show ended up on the outside of the ring. And then the ankle lock was reapplied with a grapevine onto Cena, and for someone who prays that or says that he never ever gave up, guess what happened? Cena actually gave up.
He's never said I give up.
But Cena
He
tapped
multiple times, yes. But he's never said the words I give up, I quit.
It's like, yeah, but it ended in submission with Angle winning the match.
Yeah, but still, he has never given up, though. No, he has never said those words.
No, this was a fine triple threat match. I thought it was pay-per-view worthy. Was it the best triple threat match I've ever seen? No, but it's up there. It's an underrated gem.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because no one really talks about this from this show, but for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all good. Angle won the match. That was a great way to end the match. Now this one, the next one was the main event, and Jesus Christ, can we talk about the hype package before the match? Jeez, I was getting emotional watching that back.
Yeah,
You know that for sure.
yeah. Where Eddie was saying that yes, he's an addict.
Yep. And I mean, you need to watch the full promo in depth, okay?
Oh, I know the whole promo.
Yep. And that he gets high from the fans, and that he wants that championship for the first time. Right?
Yes, he's been exercising his demons,
Yep.
which sadly to say, his demons won in the end.
But it was a feel good. But we got a feel good moment afterwards.
Yeah,
But the main event was Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Eddie Guerrero in a match that at the time no one thought Eddie was going to win. I mean, let's be real
yeah. No
here.
one really thought that he could beat Brock Lesnar.
I mean, let's be real here. Everyone back then probably thought Lesnar was going to win.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, Lesnar was in control for about the first, 70% of it.
yeah.
This half hour with lockups, submission holds, freaking
Suplexes.
suplexes. Eddie Guerrero trying to make a comeback, but it failed. But it really kind of turned when Eddie started working on the knees of Brock.
Kicking him outside the ring.
Yep. And then Lesnar literally, and at one point, Lesnar ate shit in the freaking turnbuckle when he went to go for his running knee, only to hit turnbuckle and not Eddie because Eddie moved out of the way.
Yep.
Then we seen a figure four on. Then we seen a
Multiple figure fours.
But before that, we gotta talk about the whole grapevine rear naked choke by Lesnar. That was a wear down move. That pretty much
Yeah.
which slowed down the match a bit with a submission, good old submission hold. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, we did see a finger four from Lesnar, or from Guerrero onto Lesnar. We've seen belly bellies, finger fours, Boston crabs, spine busters, suplexes, two near falls after those.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on. I can't really freaking do this match justice. You gotta watch it for yourself. I was trying to take as many notes as I can in this shorter period of time, but even my explaining can't really get the whole thing match. You gotta watch it for yourself.
You can't explain the experience without seeing it or watching it yourself.
Yep. And let's not
because us doing this review does not do it justice 100%.
Yep. And then Lesnar at one time had a gut wrench submission hold on Eddie that he also put into a gut wrench suplex.
Yep.
I mean Lesnar showing why he was a beast, but then Eddie made a comeback, hit a head scissors to Lesnar, and did his three amigos onto Lesnar. Was going for the frog splash, but Lesnar moved out of the way. And everyone thought, okay, this is it. Lesnar's gonna win, right?
Yep.
Lesnar did hit an F5. Granted, he did hit an F5, but Eddie's freaking legs hit the referee, and the referee was knocked down near the end.
Yeah. And then at this point, Brock Lesnar thought it was freaking smart to bring the belt into the ring.
Yeah, Lesnar decided to go outside, grab the championship. He was looking like he was going to do some damage on Eddie, but freaking...
and long and behold, who shows up yet again?
Goldberg came back and Lesnar. Yep. Putting Brock down. Then Eddie picks up the championship and also tries to use it as a weapon as well, after getting up after a double down spot.
Yep. And fails miserably.
Only to be caught in an F5, only for freaking Eddie to turn that F5 into a DDT on the championship belt.
Yep.
And then what happened next? Frog splash to Lesnar, referee gets up, counts to three, and Eddie
1, 2, 3.
And Eddie wins his first and only world championship in his career.
Yep.
In that feel-good moment that we always like to talk about.
Sadly to say, that is true.
Yep. So.
Well, he's won tag team titles and U.S. title and
yeah, but this is a big world championship win.
Yep.
Like coming in as a challenger, yeah. I mean, Eddie would
Yeah.
have a couple WWE title defenses after this one, but this is his only world title win as the challenger. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I can't describe it. I can't describe the feeling. Like you just got to go and watch it. My words cannot describe how that match made me feel. I was happy back then as a freaking 11-year-old, 10-year-old kid. I'm happy to watch it now. Feel
Yep.
good moment. So your thoughts, your final thoughts on this whole Brock Lesnar versus Eddie Guerrero match?
It could have kind of gone a little bit longer, but they needed to cut it off at some point.
I mean, the match was
So
30 minutes in length as it was.
yeah, but they could have done a little bit more, I think.
And I think the match drag out for 3 minutes because of like some of the rest holds and submission holds that were put into it by Lesnar. Kind of
Yeah.
drag it on a little bit longer, because this was a main event of a B-level pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I still think Michael Cole should shut his mouth about fucking Goldberg when he was there. He's like, oh, Goldberg should have never been here.
Yeah, we know the story they were trying to build. It led to that awful WrestleMania 20 match between the two.
Yep. Which we will be reviewing, Dustin.
At some point in the future. Yes, and I already know what that WrestleMania 20 main event was. We'll get to it when we get to it.
And then we'll be reviewing the god awful WrestleMania. You know which one it is.
Yes. But we'll get to those when we get to those. I'm not saying we'll do those next week. I'm not saying we'll do those next month. We'll just get to it when we get to it.
Yep.
But overall, oh no, I mean, No Way Out 2004 was essentially a one-match show, and that was on the strength of the main event now, with the feel-good moment at the end.
Yeah.
So, after going in depth with it, what would be your final score for 2000, or final grade for the 2004 No Way Out pay-per-view as a whole? Like, honest, after evaluating the whole show.
B.
Yeah, I would say, me personally, nostalgia side, if I was just watching this through rose tinted nostalgia glasses, I would give it an A, but realistically, I'd probably give it a B, and that's only because of the strength of the main event.
Yep.
All the other matches kind of served their purpose what it did. The only two great matches I seen on this card was, ironically, the matches that had both Guerreros in it.
Yep.
Eddie's match and Chavo's match. The other ones just felt like matches that were kind of okay for the pay-per-view or just mostly filler, but what do you expect from a B-level SmackDown show?
Well, at that point in time, they didn't have a whole bunch of superstar power. Yeah. Unlike later in the coming weeks when The Undertaker showed back up.
And they got the ball rolling again at that point.
Yep.
Developed new heel characters later on in the year. Like when they transitioned Bradshaw into JBL, someone for Eddie to feud with.
But yeah, that is just how it was back then. It's just they didn't have enough big superstars to even try to beat Raw.
Okay, yeah, they didn't have enough big superstars back then. They had to create some new heels for Eddie to be a champion with. So yeah, I mean, that was just No Way Out 2004. I give it a B. And I don't know what about next week's classic pay-per-view review. What show should we review for next week? If you can think of one off the top of your head, whether it's good, bad, or whatever, since No Way Out 04 was my choice.
WrestleMania 27.
You just want to torture me. You want to go from a good pay-per-view to a shitty one within a week. Okay, fine, we'll do that one next week just to get out of the way. That way you can never freaking say anything about that afterwards. God, Lord, help me all.
Or we could do WrestleMania 20 and then do WrestleMania 27 after.
Lord, help me all. It's like, Lord, help me with this one. He's going to drive me nuts.
Don't I always drive you nuts no matter what?
You always drive me nuts. You always fucking drive me nuts. Yeah. But anyway, Next week on the review channel, we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania 27, but I swear to God, after that, I'm going to be picking the next show. That'll be 2 weeks from now, and it'll be better than WrestleMania 27. You're just doing that to torture me with a shitty wrestling.
Yes, with Michael Cole in an orange singlet. Your favorite match of the night.
Well, there are some hidden gems on that freaking show, so maybe that'll distract me long enough from the whole crap that was Michael Cole for a brief period. I am not
It
looking
will
forward.
never end, Dustin. There was multiple matches with Michael Cole.
Well, at least for WrestleMania 27, it was just that one. The other pay-per-views that came afterwards, that were crap too. I just realized we have to review those ones too. God damn it. But anyway, we'll review WrestleMania 27 next week, but then after that, it'll be my choice to review one before we do the Backlash show, whenever that's going to be in early May.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our review of No Way Out 2004, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.